We were a skinhead band in about 1969, 1970. Really, when we started out, which was 66, we were sort of very, very colourful band, but we sort of found it a little bit difficult getting our foot in the door on a mass acceptance sort of scale. So we were looking for an image, really, that would set us aside from everybody else. And in those days, we were playing to a lot of skinhead audiences. It wasn't... Skinhead audiences in the 60s wasn't a political thing that people associate with it today. It was very much a fashion thing, you know, with the short jeans, the Doc Martens, the braces, the cropped hair. And so we just adopted that look, and it worked for us because right away, immediately, everybody knew who we were. We were the only ones doing it.
People obviously know by now that you're a Midlander. You're born in Walsall, weren't you?
I was born in Walsall, in the Black Country, in the heart of the Black Country, in the Midlands, yes.
And what about the other guys, though? Dave Hill, Don Powell,
We were
Jim
all
Lea?
from the same area. We were all brought up with more or less the same backgrounds in the same area. So we had an affinity with one another right from day one. I mean, the first day we rehearsed together, we knew we'd got something special. We knew we had something going. We didn't realise how long it'd take us to get any hit records or anything, but we had a lot of confidence in ourselves as a band. We always knew that with the right record in the right time and place, we would break through. And I mean, it took us 5 years, but when we did get our foot in the door with hits, it just snowballed and it went berserk overnight, really.
Well, a lot of things happened, though. You changed your name to Ambrose Slade, and then you met a guy called Chas Chandler, who listeners might recognise as the former Animals bass player, and he really guided you into the 1970s, really.
Well, he did, because Chas had a lot of experience both from being in a band with the Animals, plus he was also the guy that discovered, managed and produced Jimi Hendrix, so he had all the experience from that side behind him as well. So we gained from all that experience, really. When he became our manager, we'd already recorded our very first album, which was called Beginnings, which was as Ambrose Slade, and everybody was getting the name wrong when we went to live gigs. There was Amgo Shed, Arnold Slake, Amgo Ever. We never had the name spelt right, so we thought we got to make this short and simple, and so all we did was knocked off the Ambrose and we became Slade, and then it was plain sailing. But his main contribution probably to the band was he pushed us into songwriting. He really said, you've got to write your own songs, which we'd done a bit of before, but never anything gauged towards, certainly not towards hit singles anyway. And after we'd had the first hit with Get Down and Get With It, he said, I want the next record to be your own song. You must go away and write a hit, which is easier said than done, you know. How do you write a hit? Anyway, me and Jim got together and sat down and just aimed for a 3-minute pop rock song. It was the first song we'd actually sat down and worked out as, you know, trying to work it out to get a hit single, and we came up with 'Cause I Love You within half an hour, and we hadn't got any real confidence in it, first of all. We knew it was a good pop song, but when we played it to Chas, he said, I don't only think you've written your first hit, I think you've written your first number one. And we said, get away with you know. And but when it was released, it went to number one in 2 weeks. So that gave us absolutely amazing confidence in our writing. And then we just sort of churned them out from then on. And we had 25 years together. We actually sort of went our separate ways in 91. And from 71 to 91, which was 20 of those 25 years together, we were getting hit records. Most people remember us mainly for the 70s hits, obviously, but we were having hits all through the 80s. We had some of our biggest hits in the 80s with My Oh My, Run, Run Away and All Join Hands. They were worldwide hits. And we had our last hit in 91 with Radio Wall of Sound. So we had an incredible run. I mean, we were very, very lucky as a band. Most bands are lucky to survive a year or 2 years, and but to go 25 years, you know, with the same members, I mean, it was a great achievement, and we had a great back catalogue of work behind us, and we really had a great time as well. I mean, we toured the world no end of times. We were toured, you know, we were continually a live touring band, and we were a well-respected live band. I mean, even today, people come up to me in the street or in the pub and everything and say, oh, I saw you way back in 19 whatever, and they always say, best concert I ever saw. And I mean, we'd got a formidable reputation as a live act all over the world, and it stood us in good stead through the ups and downs. I mean, we weren't getting hits year in, year out. Some years we were out of favour, out of fashion with the media and the TV and the radio and the press, and then the next year we'd sort of come up with another record and we'd be take off again.